Hello, everyone. We're back with Ken Dombrowski, executive life coach and master hypnotist, and we're going to keep rolling with that narcissism topic here. The next thing that we're going to talk about is actually, a little confusing to me as well, so he'll definitely be taking the reins on this one. We want to talk about the way that narcissists are so good at flipping the script, making you just kind of go along with whatever they're saying when you're the one that originally has the grievance.
They are masters at this, and it's so subtle, and it doesn't look or sound like it. It's a matter of implantation in seeds that are there but they're not there. It's spoken but not spoken, and is what a person is going to feel as a response to it. Now, I have an example. A few years ago, I had a lovely young woman, probably about 30 years old, came in, and she was telling me all about her husband who had problems with drinking a lot and staying out a lot and not doing anything with her. They had a small child at the time, just one kid. They'd been married for whatever, like maybe 8 or 9 years, 10 years, somewhere in there. And he just was always doing what he wanted and never did anything as a family. He didn't help out around the house. He just went to work and then, just tended to his own hobbies. Well, one of those hobbies was, as I was kind of saying, he liked to just stay out and drink with his friends. So it'd be common that he wouldn't come home from work right away. He'd go have a couple of drinks and come home eventually and later in the evening. And then every so often there'd be a bender. He would be gone for a day or two. And so she's texting him in the middle of the night, calling him, no response, no response, no response. She's worried about her husband. What's going on? Where are you at? Oh, my God, are you okay? She would even start calling, hospitals and stuff. Has my husband been checked in? Call the police department, all this kind of thing. Well, one time in particular that she was describing to me, and this really helps you understand how the mind of the victim of a narcissist is scrambling to try to make sense of what's going on, make sense of this relationship, and what am I doing and to make it worse, and what can I do to make it better? It's like it becomes this like a multi-dimensional kind of a situation for a person. So this man came home drunk off his butt, passed out for several hours, and so she spoke to him later on in the day when he finally got up and around, and she was very upset. She said she's crying. I was so worried about you. I didn't know what was going on. And so here's the mistake she made. Used a little hyperbole, so to speak, exaggerated. She said, I texted you 1,000 times and you never responded. So he literally picks up his cell phone and starts scrolling through the text from her. He goes, I only see about 12 texts from you. I don't see 1,000. I just cannot believe that you would accuse me of 1,000 times when you didn't do it. You didn't do that. You didn't text me 1,000 times. I can't believe that you would say such a thing to me. I can't believe that. Oh, no, I'm counting them. And he would count them. 1, 2, look, and he'd show them to her. And he said, well, you show me your phone. Maybe your phone says something different. Nope, said the same thing. And so as this is happening, she felt obligated to correct herself. Well, I was just saying that, as an exaggeration because that's what it felt like. Oh, but that's what you said. So you lied. You're a liar. I can't believe that you would say something like that to me. I'm your husband. Next thing she knows, again, flip the script. Next thing she knows, she's going out of her way to try to figure out how to accommodate him so he would not be mad at her anymore for lying about how many times she texted him. But at no time did he ever even begin to address the fact that he was gone drunk, for over 24 hours from the house and she had no idea where he was. So it's all a distraction. It's all conversion, all projection and flipping the script and all this kind of thing. But you think about this poor woman in this moment where she's desperate. She just wants her family. She wants a happy relationship, a happy marriage and family, and she can't get this. So she's really trying to struggle as to what can I do? What more can I do? And so she's worried. She texts him. All she said was, I texted you 1,000 times, and that whole thing kind of fell apart on her. So does that give you a little more understanding of how that can work?
The way you explained it now makes a little bit more sense. It's just, that reaction of like, oh, this is how they think. I must correct their thinking. You know what I mean? Like, it's not doing anything for you. The conversation still started with something unbelievably bad that they did. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no reason to not contact your spouse unless you are like physically unable to use your phone, aka injured. Like, I don't know,
Right.
or in jail. I don't know. To me, there's no other reason that you can't answer that simple text. Like, you're putting someone in a terrible situation, and obviously not being actively the one being abused by a narcissist makes it a lot easier to be like, why the hell are you dealing with that? But also being the one actively in the situation, it's super easy to make excuses. So it's just like kind of this crazy cycle, because if the same thing was happening to her friend, she'd be like, oh, girl, what the hell are you doing in this relationship? But since it's happening to her, she's like, well, I can excuse it because I have XYZ as a reason, or I did this, or whatever it may be. So it's just such a confusing topic, because there really is no rhyme or reason as to why narcissism works.
Well, it's so interesting what you were just saying there. You're so right, so right. If you're looking at it from someone else's perspective, you'd be all over it. But we have another thing we want to remember about how our subconscious mind works. It is a justification machine. It's constantly looking for reasons and means and purpose of justification. So I have to justify why I'm married to this narcissist. So I'm going to justify it by taking on that responsibility. Oh, it's my fault because I said something wrong. I said something I shouldn't have said. So she's trying to justify her relationship, staying in the relationship, trying to justify why she's married to him, just trying to justify why she hasn't gotten a divorce yet. So the mind is constantly doing this stuff. And when you're involved with a narcissist, that gets used against you so much, every day.
That's an interesting way to put it, because it's like when you're like tied to someone to that capacity, it does start feeling like a personal attack from outsiders. And like, I understand that, because, people in relationships all the time are defending actions that you yourself don't think you would put up with, just because that's like, what are you doing? But when you're in it, you're like, oh no, blah, blah, whatever it is. So it's really interesting the way that this works out, because again, like on paper, it just doesn't feel like it should, but it's great at working.
Nope. Yeah. Once you're in it, you really can't have a true understanding for what it means to be the victim of a narcissist until you're the victim of a narcissist, where your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own beliefs, they just don't make sense to you, but you're trying to make sense of them, and you're trying to justify what you're doing, which is staying in an unhealthy relationship. It's just, it's really a crazy ride.
Well, and the other part of this that, kind of lends to it as well is, remember, narcissists start showing their true colors slowly. So when they got married, chances are this man was not an outward narcissist, was not showing signs of a narcissist. He just seemed like a good guy. But then when they realize that they have you where they want you, that's when it starts coming out. So then you feel like extra in need to justify yourself because it wasn't always this way. So it's like, I promise he's not terrible or whatever it is. So there really is a lot of sides to it, because they do a good job of trapping you. That's part of narcissism.
Yeah, this all makes great sense. This is a great conversation. Just even let's take narcissistic out of it for a moment, and just everyday life about how the subconscious mind works or is known to work. Let's just say you and I say, hey, I want to take you to this restaurant that I'm interested in, or I've been before and I like it, and I think you'll like it. And we get there, and the service is terrible. The food is just barely passable, right? It's nothing really great, and the entire experience was just not very, very happy. As we're walking out, chances are I'm going to say, well, it was a lot better the last time I was here, or I just don't. So I'm trying to justify why that I am the one, because I'm responsible. I'm the one who said I want us to go to this restaurant. So I'm going to defend these people that I don't even know or care about, so to speak, and because it's not really them, it's my ego on the line saying, oh, well, I'm the one who chose this, so therefore I have to kind of validate myself a little bit. And, it was a different server than I had last time. And when I went before, it was like a Saturday night and they were really busy and everything flowed better, but this was only a Tuesday afternoon and it wasn't so good for lunch. So I'm going to keep on processing that. So now take that same mechanism that's alive pretty much in all of us and multiply it by 100 or 1,000 times over when you're in the relationship with a narcissist, because you have to justify to yourself, your friends and your family why I'm in this relationship.
And it's actually funny because when you were saying that, I was thinking of like what a victim narcissist would do, or someone who has the victim mentality in that situation would do. They'd sit there and they'd make you feel bad for them, that they took you to a bad place. They'd be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Last time I hear it was nothing like that. I'm so sorry I did this to you. You know, like they make it a production. Really, at the end of the day, all we should do in that situation is be like, damn, when I went there last time, it was great. I don't know what the hell was up. Like, there's not really any need to justify, and there's no need to, like, be in shambles over something that doesn't matter. Right. So you can have the other side where it's just, like, someone that's like, how dare I put someone else in this position?
Right.
And that kind of leans towards narcissism a lot.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But, yeah, that's another way of looking at narcissism. It just keeps on going.
Yeah, I mean, they're good at flipping the script. And it's hard because some people are just good at, you know, I think some people really are just like the type of person that are good at showing their side. And so narcissism, again, is very gray water because sometimes people have a point, but when it's something like the story you just explained with the past client, it's very obvious that that is not a valid reasoning. So it's like making sure that you find the line where someone is actually just being unbelievably unreasonable and shitty, and someone who's like, okay, but this was my perspective. So
yep, all good. I don't have anything to add to that now. That's good.
Yeah, try not to let someone flip the script on you. That's all we really have to say.
Oh, this big word, try.
Yeah, that's the most important word in there is try. Well, thank you so much for sharing that story and all that information.
Thank you.
If you need help trying, please visit our website, watch more videos, whatever works for you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.